Hey there, friends and enemies, and welcome to a very special episode of First and Last. This is Joe, and with me I have Jimmy.
What's up, pasta pals and dogs?
Did the rhythm of that feel a little weird? Like your intro came up a little bit too soon?
Yeah, I wasn't ready.
Like you're still like winding up, and then you're just like, oh shit, it's my turn.
and I'm Joe. Wait, no.
Wait, who am I? Let's start over. Nope, too late. We're live. This is streaming directly to the internet.
Show's getting canceled.
Yeah, we're the producers over at the studio are, asking us to do some crazy stuff, like do live episodes and bring in some celebrity guests, maybe get some sponsorships because the ratings aren't doing so hot. Maybe we'll introduce a new like funny cartoon dog or something.
Ooh, nice. Yeah, I definitely need some comic relief and some good product placement.
Yeah, maybe like a sassy 5-year-old to like really liven it up for this season of First and Last.
Yeah, what demographic would that get us? Sassy 5-year-old.
Yeah, I don't know. I just there's like zero overlap. If you're to draw a Venn diagram between the people who are interested in this podcast and the people who would be intrigued in like a sassy Raven Simone type, it's like zero.
Okay.
Or 2 zeros.
Not one.
Not one.
Not one That's So Raven fan listening to our pod.
We'll eventually do that show. Maybe after that, then we can bring in a sassy 5-year-old.
Nice. Or during. Double whammy.
Yeah. So yeah, 2-man pod tonight. Josh is off. He's doing whatever it is that he does.
No one knows.
He's like doing work stuff, and it's like it's one of those jobs where it's like, yeah, he does a job at a computer. That's what I know about it.
That's as much as anyone can tell.
It's as much as I care.
Oh, so harsh. But true.
But true. You're not real friends don't really care what each other does for a job. That's what real friends are for.
Right. That's small talk. You save that for acquaintances.
Yeah, Jimmy and I have never talked about the weather.
No. Never will.
Never will.
Not interested.
We could be sitting in a hurricane and we'll just be like just having deep talks instead. Just not mentioning the winds or the rain.
Just talking about our childhoods. Yeah. Just trauma. And TV. And no in between.
And TV.
Speaking of, what is this show, Joe?
Typically we take a TV show and watch just the first episode and only the last episode, and view nothing in between and make our judgments of the show based on those 2 episodes. A lot of times it doesn't really make sense, and sometimes though it's all you need of that show.
More often than you'd probably think.
A lot of times we end this by just going, yeah, cool, fun First and Last, not gonna watch the show.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, so if you clicked on this episode by looking at the title of the show, knowing what show we were doing, because you're like, I love that show, can't wait to hear a deep dive and deep discussion about this show, this is not that pod. Sorry.
Yeah.
There's going to be some very uneducated banter about whatever we're watching.
Yeah, most of the time people click on, they find the pod because they're searching some show, I'm sure, and then they're just, you have to be just pissed listening to everything that we say.
Yeah, things that we don't say.
Still get stuff
'cause we
about
don't
The
even
Wire.
know.
So still apologizing
get-
to Wire fans.
It's okay.
But I'm actually really excited about the show today. Although that could be it could just be overhyped then because of the way that we do this.
Mm-hmm.
That the expectations high, and B, just again, it's who people listening to this show are big fans. I think it's I believe ABC's Modern Family
Oh,
that
yeah.
ended last year, spring
Man,
of 2020.
that show, that ran a long time, didn't it?
Long time, 11 seasons. So whatever that math is it 09 to 2020 maybe?
Yeah,
I would
I remember it
assume.
being a thing while I was in college.
The first few seasons, like I feel like everyone was talking about this show. I never watched it once. Did you
To
ever
this
see it?
day,
To this day, I've not seen an episode.
oh man. I've seen a good amount of it. I mean, a good amount of the earlier seasons. Because yeah, it started September 23rd, 2009, and I feel like I maybe watched like
Nailed
the
it.
entire first season and a little bit of the second or something like that. But yeah, at the time it was just like it wasn't exactly mind blowing, but it was like a funny enough, like mockumentary sitcom.
Okay.
Like, and like that was kind of all the rage at that point anyway. It was
Sure. The like
mockumentary.
yeah. The like The
Like, you
Office, Parks and Rec style. Okay.
Mhm. So much so that you don't even really recognize that as like when you see a show like that, or at least at that time, maybe it's a little weird now, but when you see a show like that, you don't even recognize that, like, oh, it's weird that they're talking to the camera like in these side interviews and they never explain what this documentary is, but it's just it's a form of comedy.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I remember at the time watching it, enjoying it, but also not really thinking much of it. I remember thinking that the what I thought the show's greatest strength was that there's there's like 4 kids on the show, 5 I guess if you include the baby, and like none of them are annoying, which I thought was like
Interesting.
an Olympic feat. Just like you're gonna have the children from the ages of like 1 to 12 years old and not one of them is annoying. That's amazing.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of like other shows like Blackish, like the older son. He's kind of meant to be annoying.
Junior. Yeah.
but otherwise,
Yeah, I guess Blackish does a good job with the kids too.
yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I just
Okay.
get really annoyed at like shows where, especially like comedies that are geared towards adults like this, where the kid is smarter than like a kid should be for the sake of like being funny or witty, and I'm just like, kids don't talk like that. And
Kids aren't smart.
yeah, yeah. I'm sure there's a little bit of that in this show, but for whatever reason, it just like wasn't enough to like be annoying. It's just like fine. I wonder though, because it is what 11 seasons, so like there is a chance that those kids could get annoying.
Yeah. At some point in like hundreds of episodes, someone was annoying. Also,
yeah, I mean, if
if
like
they've
casting
grown
a
up.
baby, yeah. You can cast a baby in the first season. By the last season, that baby's gonna be like, a preteen. Like, you have no idea how that kid's gonna act.
Right. Yeah, I mean, look at the Olsen twins. Man,
Yeah.
they're terrible. Their acting never got better. Ever.
Yeah.
She
There was
peaked.
2 of them.
But yeah, interesting. Okay, so at least you've seen some of this. You have a little bit of context. We
I
won't.
do. Are you even aware of like the characters or anything?
I know just like from commercials that Ed O'Neill is in it, and
Mm-hmm.
Ty Burrow, is that his name?
Ty Burrell.
Burrell. That's it. Yeah.
I
And
don't.
I
Okay,
know him
I'm
from
clicking on the.
things.
Okay, I'm clicking on the Wikipedia, and I didn't know that name, but I recognize him now.
Yeah,
He
he's
plays. I forget his name, but he's like the dad character.
okay. Yeah, I guess I can't. I've never been able to tell. Like, is this one just massive extended family? Is this several families? I mean, I assume it's called Modern Family, that everyone's related. But,
Yeah,
you
it's
know,
not Modern
also.
Families.
Right. But I mean, I guess it could be just like if we're being real modern about it, you know? You could be talking about, your boys. Who's to say?
Wait, what? Ya boys?
Like you have your family, and then you have, like your
they could
family.
be like close friends.
Maybe they're a mafia. I don't know.
No, you literally don't know.
I mean, I assume not, but I would watch it. That sounds fun.
Yeah, it could be that kind of family.
So Ty Burrell, he, what is he in? He plays like a comedy Nazi in something.
Oh,
And he's Liv Tyler's boyfriend in The Hulk. He's the Hulk's girlfriend's boyfriend.
the Hulk's girlfriend's boyfriend, and he's
yeah.
not the Hulk.
Right. Because
Bummer.
because Ed Norton has been who knows where as the Hulk. So he comes back and Liv Tyler's got a new boyfriend, and it's Ty Burrell.
Oh man.
That's what I know about that guy.
Same thing happened with Liv Tyler in Pearl Harbor. That's
Oh yeah.
a really obscure reference, but I hope somebody was just like, that happened to Liv Tyler in Pearl Harbor too.
'Cause she was dating. She's got a type. She was dating Ben Affleck, but then she was dating Cuba Gooding. What? Who was she dating?
It was was it Josh Hartnett?
Oh, was it? Was he in
I
that?
feel like it might have been Josh Hartnett.
I remember that movie being real bad.
Yeah, I don't remember. I remember that movie like wanting to be a big deal, but it just was not. Like it was supposed to be like Titanic big.
Yeah.
But no.
No.
I don't remember how we got to Pearl Harbor. We were talking about Liv Tyler.
Yeah,
We were talking about Ty Burrell.
Yeah.
Oh, he's the Hulk's girlfriend's brother or whatever.
Damn it. Sure.
Yeah, that's it. I don't know. It's too many Hulk movies. Oh,
it's Key and Peele that I'm thinking. It's a Key and Peele sketch.
Oh, where he plays a Nazi?
Yeah.
Okay. So you know him from Key and Peele.
Yeah.
Cool.
Very good.
But yeah, this show's a phenomenon. You're about to jump into this. Do you have any predictions for? I mean, Ed O'Neill and Ty Burrell are in it. Do you have any predictions for how you think they're related?
How they're related.
Or if they are,
okay,
even, I guess.
Yeah, my guess is that I'm going to guess they're brothers-in-law.
Mm-hmm.
And I predict at one point Ed O'Neill will sit down on a couch and put his hand in his pants. And
I don't know. That's not very ABC friendly.
yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. How could he not, though? At some point, he has to at some point during this show. That's this whole
Do you
thing.
think? That being said, with this being an ABC show, and maybe 2009 is a little early, but do you think that Modern Family is part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe?
09. Yeah, let's see. Yeah, someone for sure is a Hydra spy in this. Probably isn't Sophia what's her name?
Sofia Vergara.
Yeah, I'm assuming she's a spy just because she's foreign.
Oh man. Yeah, I could see her working for Hydra.
Yeah. Something.
Can't wait. Can't wait for that X-Men Modern Family crossover. Just give me all of the content. This is a longer intro than most, but I saw a tweet today. I have to talk to somebody about this.
Awesome.
It was about the LeBron James Space Jam movie that's coming out sometime.
Oh, that's still happening?
Yeah. But they had said that like part of the plot is something about some like evil, I don't know if it's an alien or what, but the evil character trying to like steal LeBron James's like essence or whatever. You know, sounds like Space Jam so far. But in doing that, like he goes beyond just like basketball or even like space and time, and they travel through like the Warner Brothers like universe, like that, such that there's cameos from like DC and Mad Max.
What?
Yeah.
Just get wild with it. Animaniacs coming at you.
Yeah. Just like not just Looney Tunes, not just basketball, but it's just like all of the Warner Brothers properties included in the Space Jam movie. It sounds a little bit too much. Oh, The Matrix was the other movie that
okay.
That was mentioned as like there's going to be cameos from The Matrix in this Space Jam movie.
How would that even work? So like how long has this movie been in the works for that they've been slipping this into everyone's contracts in the fine print for like a decade? For decades. Matrix, that's late 90s, right? Early 2000s maybe?
Yeah, I think Matrix is 99, but like they're making a fourth Matrix movie, so it could be that they put it into that contract. Like, hey, if you're coming back for fourth Matrix, guess what? You're in Space Jam also.
Yep. You want that
and
Matrix
Keanu's
money?
just like, sure.
Yeah, Keanu's never said no to anything.
He's like, I get to hang out with LeBron? Okay.
Will
Bugs Bunny be there?
As long as they don't kill my dog.
You come to my house and you kick my dog.
Well, I hope that gets super meta and weird, and I will be into it. For sure.
Cool. I will be there. So yeah, I guess we'll pull up this first episode. I hadn't looked to see if the first episode has a title.
It does not.
It's just pilot.
It is called Pilot, I believe. I should have had I known Josh wasn't gonna make it, you know, I would have picked a show that had a title just to mess with him, but
Oh, it's written by Steve Levitan and Christopher Lloyd. Not the not the actor for Christopher Lloyd, but the writer. So Christopher Lloyd wrote a lot of Frasier, and Steven Levitan wrote a lot of Just Shoot Me.
Oh, okay. That's why I know that name.
Yeah. So
of Just Shoot
heavy
Me
hitters behind this show.
Man, Frasier. Yeah, I'm gonna like this.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
Should we do it?
Let's cue it up then. We'll see y'all after that. And we're back from the first episode of Modern Family, entitled, of course, Pilot.
Everyone's favorite.
The Pilot. Yeah, you know, we laughed, we cried. Is there a...
Did you cry?
I didn't, to be honest, did not cry, but there was some nice moments.
I was gonna
say. Do you have a nice IMDb /Wikipedia write-up?
Sure do. I was gonna say, I think it was like this, like season 4 or something. My like, my prediction was Joe tears. It still hasn't come.
No.
Okay, pilot. What is this? 2009. We said.
Yeah, September 2009.
Jay is trying hard to keep up with his much younger Colombian wife Gloria, along with her passionate preteen son Manny. That was hard to say. Claire is having a hard time raising her own family, while her husband Phil is great. He thinks that he's down with their 3 kids, much to all their embarrassment. And finally, Mitchell and his enthusiastic partner Cameron have just made a major life change by adopting a Vietnamese baby named Lily. And that's the end of, apparently that's from abc.com.
No,
On
the
the
official
IMDb.
source.
Yeah. And they skipped over some kind of major, the plot, but
Yeah.
those are the big points, I suppose.
So yeah, it's Jay is kind of the patriarch, played by Ed O'Neill. And his like immediate family is that he has remarried to this woman Gloria, who has a son Manny. So he's kind of he's an older man kind of getting his second run at having a young family again. Because he does have 2 adult children, Mitchell and Claire, who are each married and have their own families, with Claire and her husband Phil having 3 kids that are, I just looked it up, and their ages are 11, 13, and 15.
Okay.
And Mitchell
Checks
and
out.
his husband Cameron have just adopted Lily. So that's the structure.
Yeah. So not a mafia.
Yeah, not a mafia type
actual
family.
extended family.
But there were guns,
That's true.
or at least a gun. Several people got shot.
A BB gun of some kind.
Yeah, one of the subplots was that Luke, the youngest child of the Dunphys, had like shot his sister Alex accidentally with a BB gun. Which
Allegedly.
like that's yeah. I was gonna say like accidentally, like that's just how like BB guns work. You shoot people.
Yeah.
And cans, but also people get in the way.
When I pointed it at you and pulled the trigger.
Yeah. So apparently, like Phil and Claire had an agreement that like if Luke shoots someone, then like Phil has to shoot him back.
Yeah.
Which is a wild parenting technique.
Excellent parenting. Yeah. So then they actually end up going through. This was one of the funnier bits of the episode for me, was it how that devolved into how that punishment is going to happen. And it's like they're about to take the kid Luke to like a birthday party, so they didn't want him to have like a big red mark. So then they're like, well, then after that we got to take girl to dance or whatever, and then we got this dinner. So they're scheduling in when to shoot this kid, and he's just like dying. It's excellent.
Just finding time in
Became
the
a family
schedule to do
meeting.
it, yeah.
Great bit.
Yeah. Was there? I guess maybe we could stick with the Dunphys for a second, because there's a lot to talk about with the family structure. But so yeah, there's that going on with Luke, but then Haley, the oldest daughter, who's 15, is having a boy over for the first time, and it ends up being this kid Dylan, who's like a full-on adult and like a high school senior, but like maybe super senior.
Yeah.
So there's stuff about just the 2 parents dealing with their daughter growing up and being into boys, with Phil trying to be like a cool dad but also trying to be intimidating, and he's like neither cool nor intimidating. And Claire more of being very suspicious of her daughter because she knows the things that she got into when she was her daughter's age.
Yep. So but she's definitely doing the brunt of the parenting, it would seem, in real life and also in her own mind, because she, in their like first, so they're the first family we're introduced to, and they have the first like cutaway interview style, like The Office. It felt very much like The Office at times, at least in that way. I feel like there wasn't as much of that in Parks and Rec. A little bit.
Yeah, the talking head interviews. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and again, not explained at all why this family.
Yeah, why is there a documentary crew?
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's
yeah. So those
bit.
those are kind of the two plot lines of the Dunphys. I guess we'll end on Cam and Mitchell because I think there's interesting stuff there. But so then going to Jay, Gloria, and Manny, it starts out with them like at Manny's soccer game, and the whole thing is that like Manny's like not really interested in playing soccer and more interested in this like I guess this girl that like bikes by, yeah, that he's like in love with.
Yeah.
Just kind of setting up all three characters pretty much in one scene, that like Manny is, kind of a softie and more like a lover than a fighter or even sports player. And like Gloria is like very attractive and very passionate, and Jay is just kind of the opposite of, he's just like kind of curmudgeonly, and he's like obviously older and but yeah, just trying to adjust to having to raise like a child again after 20 years since he's like had a kid to raise.
I mean, he's just literally Al Bundy.
Yeah. Just aged up. Yeah.
Yep. I assume it's the same universe. He's changed his name for some reason.
He's assumed another identity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which would also tie that into the Marvel Cinematic Universe. It all comes together.
Married with Children is in Marvel?
No, this is Modern Family.
Oh, this. Yeah, that's right. That's right. So yeah, there's other things. I mean, those are the key points there with the Pritchett's, but they also like there's a scene at the mall because after the soccer game, Manny wants to go like do some sort of grand romantic gesture for this girl. I forget her name. There's something
like Brenda or something.
Yeah, Brenda something. But like that scene had one of the funnier lines for me because they go to the mall. Manny has like this poem that he wrote her and like some flowers that he's going to hand over to her. And like the parents are kind of just like watching from far away. And then he comes back to them like disappointed. He says like, oh yeah, she told me she has a boyfriend. Cause like she's like working at this like old timey picture booth there. And he says, I gave her my heart. And she gave me a picture of me as an old time sheriff. And like he shows the picture and it's just like a sad Manny, like who's still like
little just went ahead. Mustache.
Yeah, just went ahead with the whole sham of like, okay, fine, take my picture. Yeah, that was real funny to me.
The three of them is a good dynamic. They have a good thing going, which is good because I think that their just like storyline, I feel like there's less. I don't know. It was not as interesting to me as the other ones. But they're just straight up funny. There was a scene, so from the soccer field to the mall, they have a scene in the car, like from camera in the dashboard. It's got all of them and Manny's in the middle in the back. And it's hilarious. And I hope and assume that that's a regular shot that you see of this crew with Manny in the middle.
Yeah, Manny in the middle.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then the last family is Cam and Mitchell, who are just coming back home from Vietnam with their newly adopted baby Lily. And this one is kind of the more plot-centric part of the show, because the big conflict is that so Mitchell is Jay's kid, and it seems like there's still some tension about like Mitchell being gay and like married to a man, and that like Jay's real old school.
If Jay can't handle his like passionate son,
Mhm.
like who would rather chase girls than sports, he's not handling homosexual adult son.
And so like there's already tension there, and like Mitchell's concerned about that, like he hadn't told his family that they were adopting a baby, and so he was not really sure how to break that out. But Cam had took it upon himself to invite the whole family over for dinner without telling Mitchell, because he wanted him to just get it out there that like they're adopting a baby.
Yeah.
So that plays out throughout the show, but then at the end of the episode is, you know, when the whole family's over for the dinner, and Mitchell's kind of winding up to tell them about like, hey, like we didn't just go to Vietnam for vacation, we were there actually doing something. And there's just like a slew of like really cringe like
you did this?
purposely cringy stuff that's said between Jay and Claire, where like Jay says something about like, oh, like Cam's got boobs now, like really transphobic even for 2009. And then Mitchell like starts to hint out like that they've been thinking about like adopting a child, and Jay says like, oh well, like that's not gonna work because like a kid needs a mother. And then Claire, like while less homophobic, she says something like, oh well, like you couldn't handle a kid because like you're too like, I forget what she says, but I think she said something about him being really uptight and like it'd just be chaos. To which Mitchell is like, well, that's like offensive to me in a completely different way.
And then someone
say?
says that Cam is dramatic.
Yeah.
And then the lights go out and Lion King like opening music starts, which is excellent.
Yeah, Circle of Life. Yeah. Using those those Disney ABC connections. Gotta take advantage.
Got those rights.
Yeah, so the lights go out and they play the Circle of Life, and Cam brings out baby Lily and like holds her up as if she's Simba.
Which is just excellent.
Yeah, which is it's a great TV moment, because to that point, like they're talking about a child as a hypothetical, and like they're all saying about how it's a bad idea, and then all of a sudden it's just like, well, here's the baby. We did it already.
Surprise.
Yeah. So yeah, a lot of the family like quickly turns around and they're just like, when you see the baby in person, it's hard to think of all those rational things of like, how are you going to handle this and whatever. It's just sort of like, here's a baby that's a part of our family now, and like we're of course on board with that. But Jay has a little moment where he says too that like, I initially wasn't as supportive about this as I should be, but like I've been a dad for like 30 years and I'm still trying to figure it out. So like, I'm sure you guys will figure it out. And so I did like that they like had that extra moment with Jay saying something, because I feel like most shows with this, there would be this tension and then it just sort of blows over and you just like forget about it.
Yeah.
I feel like we had a show with that recently where like there was an issue, and then I think it was Mad About You, where like in the first episode, like they were angry with each other about nothing, and then they just sort of got over it.
Yeah.
But like this one, there is a big turnaround, but it goes along with Jay's like progression from the beginning of the episode, because like from like the soccer game, like Gloria is trying to get Jay to be like supportive of your son and kind of meet your son on his own terms, and not just like not try to parent him how you would want to be parented, but like parent towards how the kid needs to be parented. And so if they need support, like give them support. Whether that's like, you know, Manny spilling his beans to some girl at the mall, like be there for him there, but also be there for like your son who's like trying to have a family. So I thought that was like a nice little tie over, like very like I feel some Frasier in that. I'm not gonna go ahead and say it's the new Frasier, but like that's definitely like, you know, a level of tying stuff together and having a show mean something that I wouldn't necessarily have expected.
Right. Yeah, that is a Frasier-esque to have a sudden like turn and have some feels in there. Definitely not something that Al Bundy would have done.
Yeah. Which makes it all the better that like this guy who's playing like just, you know, not a bad person, but just like Al Bundy is that piece of everybody that like everybody has like a little bit of Al Bundy in them that's just sort of like
you
know
heard
what I
it
mean?
here, folks.
You know there's some Al Bundy in you that's just like, you know, just doesn't give a shit about anyone else and is just like just trying to just like chill on the couch and put his hands down his pants. So yeah, I mean, it is something to see, you know, an Ed O'Neill character say something like that to, you know, his gay son.
Yeah. Never thought I'd see the day. I think, I guess the only thing left to say is I thought this was an excellent pilot because, just from start to finish, you did a good job of meeting all of the like parts of the family individually, but also following along just with what they were doing in like normal life at the same time. So it's like some shows I feel like you just jump right into whatever they're doing. Some shows they try to set it up. This was a great balance of both. And then throughout the tension of the stuff that was happening, it all culminated in that last scene where the whole family is there, because you don't know until then that these three families are actually connected, until Cameron tells Mitchell, I invited the family over for dinner, so you're gonna have to face this. And then all these other characters that you've been learning at meeting walk through the door, and you're like, oh shit, so who's connected to who? And you gotta like quick suss it out. But
pull out the family tree.
Yeah, it's pretty great. Make the connections like right away. They do a bit where Gloria, Phil says he likes Gloria's dress, and she says thanks, Phil, because she's
like with her accent,
like Colombian, it's her accent. So he starts rubbing her, and Claire has to like bat him away. So you're like, okay, Claire is connected to Jay. So it was just very clever.
Yeah, I guess now that I think about it, they didn't make that clear from the beginning, like how they were necessarily connected.
Until that scene, I was like, oh shit, this really is three families, isn't it? That they're, but nope. Got me.
Yeah. Yeah, so cool. I feel like there was one other thought I had here.
Nope.
What were you gonna say? Just the other thought I had was just like and like we've seen this with other shows from the early to mid 2000s, but it's crazy how like modern these shows feel, because it's not. I mean, I guess this was 12 years ago, and when you think about 12 years, that is a long time, and I'm older than I think I am. But just that, a show from the 2000s feels much closer to today than a show from the 90s.
Yeah.
But when we see stuff with like gay jokes or like some like playful homophobia, um, like it really is kind of jarring how like how much that is a part of this. And I know that like this show is it has two prominent gay characters, and kind of the thought, I mean, the way that they're presenting it is like that they do deal with prejudice, but like there's the part on the plane that they're with the baby, and it's initially just Mitchell with the, am I mixing up the names? No, it's Mitchell.
Yeah.
It's initially Mitchell with the baby. And he's explaining to like strangers on the plane, like, oh yeah, like we just adopted her. We're bringing her home for the first time. And like the people on the plane are like saying stuff about like, oh, like you and your wife must be so happy. And then Cam comes on the plane and they see that it's like two men adopting a baby, and like the other passengers are kind of like making this face like, oh, gross. And it's like, that just seems like maybe I live in like a progressive accepting bubble, but like that just seems like so far off and away. And like, not even that like everybody's super accepting now, but it's, or and is super great allies all the time, but just like the thought that people would like recoil at the thought of like two men raising a baby seems foreign now.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's true. And I don't know if TV sometimes seems a little bit behind on that. Like they're waiting for things to be like, is this okay now? Because like even like 10 years before, like I don't know if you like a main characters like that. Like I can't even think of like, if you had main characters that were gay, they were like goofy, they were like eccentric.
Goofy,
they weren't
flamboyant.
normal people. Yeah. They were what is the show we did? I can't remember the name of it now. Is it? Nope. I lost it. But like Friends was just that. If you go back and watch that show, it is like 50% gay jokes and like 50%
gay
fat
panic,
jokes. And that was not that much. I mean, that's the 90s.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's very interesting. In that, along that same vein, once Lily came out with, they brought her out to the family, she just became just a bunch of quick succession of racist jokes.
Oh yeah. Some light racism there. Yeah. Like Jay calls her like a little pot sticker or something.
Yeah. Okay. And
Phil says like, oh, her name's Lily, like isn't that going to be harder when she's older?
Yeah, how is she going to be able to pronounce that?
Yeah.
Oh man.
Which like, good joke though. Solid joke.
Well, predictions or
yeah, I think those are the thoughts I had. For whatever reason, it took me a while to come up with like some good things that I could predict out of this. But I got a couple bangers in here.
Nice.
I think that Jay is a great grandfather. I don't know from where, but like just
okay.
In 11 seasons, like the kids, like Haley will be 26. Like it's definitely plausible that any one of those Dunphy kids has a kid or two. So I think Jay is a great grandfather.
Okay, I can see it.
I think that the actor who plays Lily is real bad.
Okay.
Because for the reasons I said, like in the earlier part, that like they're just picking a baby based on like whichever parents like put their kid up for this, but like you don't know if it's gonna be a good actor or not. So I think we can tell that Lily's a bad actor and that they're like trying to hide that kid actor as much as possible.
Okay. Yeah, I guess there's something like okay, so in like Full House, like Michelle, she's a little older. She wasn't an infant. Like she could
Mm-hmm.
say like a word.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
that, but in like shows that have cast babies, like you could probably get away with swapping out some babies for a while until they're old
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
enough. But even
Yeah,
at
I
a
guess
certain
they could
point,
have. Yeah, at a certain point, you gotta commit to
yeah,
a toddler.
this was definitely not like a newborn. This is a
Mm-hmm.
chunky big baby. So maybe they stick with it.
Maybe. My third one is I was surprised that no. I mean, it's Modern Family, and there's all different assortment of families shown here. But I'm surprised that no one had any pets.
Hmm.
So I think that someone in the family in this finale here has a dog.
Okay. What's its name?
Rufus.
Nice. So it's like a
Um,
pug or like picturing
Something stocky for sure.
Yeah.
It's not gonna be like a slender, graceful dog.
something with a lot
Yeah.
of like jowls, but like a short, like stubby nose.
Yeah, something that's been inbred for generations.
Yikes.
Um, okay, and then my last one, I was struggling to come up with like what is the finale here because it's not like they
Yeah.
have like a home base house that they all hang out in and like they're all moving or something. So, but I think it still has to be moving. I toyed a little bit with death, but I don't think there's gonna be a death. um,
I toyed a little bit with death.
yeah, I played with it a little bit to see if I can make something
Just
of
tickled
it.
it.
Yeah. But no, so I did go with moving, and I have that Cam, Mitchell, and Lily are moving to Vietnam.
Ooh.
Just to either be closer to her roots, or maybe they make a connection with her like biological family or something, but they move to Vietnam.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah,
Those are yours.
those are my four, my hot four.
I also was struggling with what the finale is going to be. We know that it's a two-parter.
Mm-hmm.
So we usually have funeral or a wedding, and I don't think it's going to be one of those. So I put graduation. I think someone's graduating something. That's what we're doing. That's kind of third tier.
The ages of kids are all spread out, so like it could be anything.
Yeah. Maybe
Any sort of
Haley's,
graduation.
it's like grad school. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they're all graduating something. um, big party. But then number 2, I think there's been a divorce.
Oh,
So I think one of these families is split in time.
wow. Bold.
We got some Frasier feels. Frasier went through a lot of heartache. I know you never finished it, but
I did not. Yeah.
most of it was his fault. In like the middle seasons, it really got pretty hairy for Frasier. He was kind of not a good guy.
Man, I would guess maybe like Cam and Mitchell. For some reason, I can't imagine Phil single. I feel like he's like a pretty dependent
He
adult.
wouldn't handle. Yeah, he's not an adult. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying I want to see it. I'm just saying.
You just
This was
think it's going to happen. Modern Family, man.
I don't think it's Mitchell and Cameron. Oh, maybe I do. But I think they have added some more kids to the arsenal.
Okay.
I'm gonna say equal to or greater than 3 kids.
Is that part of the prediction, or are you just saying more kids?
That's the prediction. Mitchell and Cameron equal to greater than 3 kids.
Okay. Cool. At least 3 kids.
Got to make it a little bit harder, I guess. And then so they did a thing. Those two did a thing right before, like right as like the doorbell is ringing and Cameron's trying to pump up Mitchell, and he goes, "Come on, sports guy chest bump, sports guy chest bump," and just chest bumps Mitchell pretty hard, and it made me laugh. So I think we get a sports guy chest bump.
I hope so.
And no blimps.
You think? Yeah, no blimps. Get the blimps out of here. This is gonna, man. You should have tried to pick a show that was like for sure gonna have a blimp.
Oh man, yeah, I screwed it up.
Missed opportunity. All right. Well, so this finale is a two-parter, aired on the same night, and on Hulu it's like listed as one episode, but it is a two-part, hour-long, just called finale.
Okay.
On the Wikipedia here, it's like 8 writers listed. It's crazy.
Ooh.
Just like everybody getting credited. Did a huge rating too, 7.37. I don't know what that means, but it's a much larger number than
Seems
the
good.
rest of the season. Yeah.
Seems good.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll go ahead and watch the finale and see y'all after this. And we're back from the finale of Modern Family, the two-parter finale part 1 and finale part 2.
Yeah.
Hey, Jimmy, do you got a write-up for us?
Oh, no.
Oh.
Bet
Wah,
you-
wah,
Bet you listeners didn't think I'd be here.
A bunch of people just turned the pod off.
Damn it. We thought we were going to get a Josh Free podcast.
It
Doing
was
so
going
well.
so well.
Yeah, I do though.
Okay.
Should I read it?
Yeah, you can read it.
Okay. This is gonna be short, even though a lot more things happened. Mitchell and Cam settle into their new normal. Phil and Claire decide that one of the kids needs to move out. As Gloria becomes more successful at work, she notices Jay and the kids don't seem to need her as much anymore. That's how this show starts. So much happens within seconds.
How did you guys... So, yeah, just hey, FYI, listeners, I'm here. I watched the finale, by the way. I didn't watch the first episode because I was working. And
Just
then I
last.
was like, the boys are recording, and I need a break. So I'm just going to weasel my way into part 3 of the podcast.
Josh is
And
starting
it's
a new pod, Just Last.
Just last.
And it's actually it's going to be this, but it's only going to be my recording, only my voice. So all the times I'm listening to you guys, it's going to in that podcast, it's just going to be dead air.
God.
But I watched it, and I feel like this show was on for a while, and so all those like kids were like tiny at the beginning of the show.
Yeah. Have you
And
seen
that-
Modern Family before?
I've seen maybe like an episode,
Okay, yeah.
Nice.
so I didn't know who anybody was or
Mhm.
anything. So I guess I want to know what your guys' thoughts are.
No, yeah,
Yeah,
but you're right.
thoughts.
The kids, aged 11 years up. And there was like at least one kid that I'd never seen before.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Manny's little brother.
Yeah.
Yeah. So apparently, Jay and Gloria had a child together, which is
How
not,
many-
I guess, unheard of.
How many like different families are in this show? I mean, they're all one family, but
Yeah, it's like Jay, who's Al Bundy.
okay.
His 2 kids are Claire and Mitchell.
I caught
And
on to
that's how
Mitchell
they're all
being his
connected.
kid, and that was
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. And then that's how they're all connected.
Okay.
Because then it's essentially like 3 nuclear families that are bonded together. But yeah, maybe let's start with talking about the kids, because I feel like that was the biggest thing to me. Is I had said earlier that I'd watched a good amount of the early part of this show. Like I think I'd seen all of season 1 and maybe part of season 2. And like the thing that had impressed me the most was that like a show with this many kids on it, and like none of the kids were annoying. And I feel
Yeah.
like in this finale, like most of the kids are adults, I guess. Like, yeah, aside from like the new kid who I've never seen before, but like, and I guess Lily is probably a preteen or something. But the
Mhm.
older kids, like from Luke on, like they're all college age and up. Like they're all adults, and I feel like they're like more annoying now than they were when they were kids.
Yeah.
I feel like they
Absolutely.
live.
I
Like
found them annoying.
Yeah. Like they live in like a weird in between where they're the age of adults, but they're not really acting or written like adults. Like Luke is like
Hmm.
just like a dumb toddler.
Yeah.
It seemed like the two older girls were being sexualized like adults.
Yeah, there's that.
Yes, that is true. 100%. Just cleavage. And yeah, Luke was like at best. I mean, okay, so maybe this is, why we have 35-year-olds playing high schoolers in shows. It's because it's not always the best. But
They don't always pan out as adults.
yeah. I tried to look, Joe, too, and Lily was not credited in the pilot, so I'm not sure if that's the same actress as the baby from the pilot.
Wonder if the
I'll
fandom
have to look
website
deeper.
has that info.
Oh, I'm sure it does. It's a deep fandom.
Deep fandom website. So yeah, other than that, the kids stuff was a little weird. But other than that, the for like a big two-parter like this, it seemed very conventional, I guess. Like it hit all the notes of like, well, everybody's leaving town and we're sad we're all saying goodbye, but we're moving on. Like it wasn't bad necessarily in that sense, but it was just sort of like I thought the pilot was really good. And because this is such a big show, like super popular, I just thought that they would have done like a big thing. But it just
Like
kind
they
of
would
felt,
have pulled a How You Met Your Mother and
yeah, something. I wouldn't be
hooked
surprised.
up with Aunt Robin.
Totally blown it up.
Yeah. Jay gets married for the third time.
To a younger woman.
Yeah, I wouldn't have been surprised if they would have, done something weird with like a flash forward 20 years or had a character die or something. But it was just sort of like, it was a pretty like easygoing finale.
Yep. Not a lot of thought put into this. I feel like we'll do our jokes that everyone's expecting. It sounded like they wrapped up some old jokes. Like Gloria talked about some hot sauce. That was like a
Yeah.
throwaway.
That, like, it
oh,
didn't
this
really get,
means
yeah.
something. There was one other one. Like, oh, it finally did this. Oh, this whole side plot between Claire and Mitchell that they're going to steal this trophy. That it sounded like that's maybe something that's been going on for a long time, and then Jay comes out and is like, neither of you have ever had this thing, like we gave it back.
Yeah, it was
to
like
the
a
ice
skating
rink.
trophy that they had. Yeah.
And that was a little moment.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It was fine.
I feel like every scene that had Al Bundy in it was like pretty good.
Yeah, he's great.
Yeah.
And then most scenes without him had the kids in it, and I thought it was weird.
Mm-hmm.
But when he was like learning Spanish to like surprise his wife, and then the one guy spooned him or whatever, like that was
Yeah.
really funny.
That's good.
Yeah.
I definitely could have used more of Phil, who was the one who did the spooning.
Okay.
Just at all times.
Yeah, that's Ty Burrell. Is that how I say his name?
Mm-hmm.
Burrell?
Ty Burrell.
Burrell?
I don't actually know.
Burl.
He's like in stuff that I've
Yeah.
seen. So
Yeah.
You guys already talk about this? You've already gone through this whole thing?
A little bit.
I mean, we talked about the cast.
Yeah. I would just recognize him, and I liked him, and I like Al Bundy. Because, like, come on.
Mm-hmm.
He scored 4 touchdowns in one game.
It's not a fact that I need.
In Pokai High School.
Okay.
Al Bundy.
Oh, man. Alan. Also, there was a cameo. Well, not a cameo, but Elizabeth Banks was apparently a character.
Oh yeah,
in this show, and she was just suddenly in a scene.
When she popped up, I was like, "Oh hey, Elizabeth Banks."
That was odd to me. And she played a person that you just hate.
She's not a normal character in the show, or do you not know that?
It seems that they knew who she was, so it seems like, I mean, unless she was just in their house and unexplainably.
Yeah, I would guess like recurring Jean Ralphio level character.
It says she's in 7 episodes.
Nice.
There you go.
There you go.
Yeah. And Nathan Fillion is in 7 episodes too, by the way.
Ooh. Okay.
So those are 7 episodes of the show I'd like to see.
Yeah.
This could be my new Frasier. At least up to a point, maybe, until I start to hate the kids and how they're trying to work them in as plot devices more. Maybe that was a big difference too. You know, now that the kids are older, the writers are trying to use them more and maybe try to do a little spin-off or something. See if the characters take, because they were never the driving force of any plot in the pilot. You know, they're kind of, I mean, they're there, but they're never like the main actor in any scene.
Yeah,
you
it's
know?
always through the like perspective of the parents.
Right. So I don't know.
Spin it off into Postmodern Family.
Love it. Neo-modern.
Yeah.
New modern.
Mid-century Modern Family.
New metal family.
I mean, I would say watching this last episode, I don't really get it.
Yeah.
Like, is this show good? I would say no from what I saw.
Mm-hmm.
But I am seeing that there's 250 episodes. So someone's got to really like people like this show, right?
Yeah. The pilot was gold.
Okay, was it?
The
pilot was great.
To be quite honest.
Oh, okay, because like how Joe said when he was surprised that the finale was so just kind of felt like a regular sitcom finale, like a worse TGI Friday finale, you know?
TGI Friday.
TGIF,
Friday.
not TGI Fridays. That's
We're getting some chicken crispers. No, it's Chili's.
we're getting some some bourbon soap.
Yeah, some Jim Beam, whatever.
Jim Beam.
That's what they do.
Just slather some
Excellent.
whiskey on there. It'll be good. 4,000 calories per wing. Put it in my gullet.
Oh my gosh, I miss it. I miss it.
At this point.
I don't know. I had a stray thought and I can't remember.
You know, so there was this was hyped a lot for me, and like it's on all these lists of like the end of the sitcoms, basically, of like that era of like The Office and Parks and Rec, and well, obviously because those are the handy cam shows or whatever you want to call them. Mockumentary shows. But I don't know that that's true, because like there are definitely sitcoms on now that have been going and that are good.
That are mockumentary form, or are you saying
Not mockumentary form, but like just to say that like the end of this show last April 2020 is the end of great
sitcoms?
of the great sitcom era, like Cheers and Frasier and all the things. That's giving this show a lot of credit, and B, I think sitcoms are still going kind of strong.
Well, it's like It's like Modern Family and Big Bang Theory and maybe like a 2.5 Men. Those are kind of like the big recent sitcoms, and like the other two shows have already ended, right?
Yeah.
Well,
So I'm
thank
trying to think
God
of like
the Big Bang Theory ended. That show sucked ass.
trying to think. I mean,
Yeah.
they might be right, and just in terms of like big tentpole network TV sitcoms like this. I guess there's the Roseanne show without Roseanne. I would assume that that's pretty popular, and then that's still going on.
Yeah.
Yeah,
who's to say?
yeah. What is that? What's that one called? Nozan.
Nozanne.
Probably Nozan.
Missed opportunity if they didn't call it Nozanne.
I can't remember what it's called.
It's called like what's their last name in the show?
It's not Bar.
The Connors.
Yeah, it's called the
Connors.
Connors, isn't it?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
But so like I mentioned earlier, like Blackish
Yeah, there's Blackish.
has been going, and that's like, I mean, that's got like spin-offs and stuff. Brooklyn Nine-Nine is, well, it has one more season left.
Yeah,
I think that
revived.
show is ending just more because of the era of the last year of, like, it's not a great time to be in a police comedy.
Just hilarious cop show.
Like they said that they had they threw away a ton of material and just started over.
Well, isn't Frasier coming back?
I had seen something about that, yeah.
I
we
think I saw
talked
something
about that
within
like
this last
a
week.
while ago, and
Uh-huh.
it's been like months, so I'm hoping.
Yeah. And I was looking at the Christopher Lloyd Wikipedia, and because he was he's a producer at Frasier and Modern Family, and I guess Wings too, but
Oh yeah,
his
I did know
next
that.
thing says Untitled Alec Baldwin Kelsey Grammer Project for ABC.
What? Interesting.
It sounds like the new Frasier, like I guess reboot or something, is supposed to be coming to Paramount Plus.
Oh, great.
Yeah. So I mean, in a way, I could see how Modern Family or something is like the end of sitcoms as you know it. People
Yeah.
that like
Yeah.
refuse to understand how the internet works and dive into streaming services and whatnot, like
Yeah.
in that way. But also because like Netflix has sitcoms on it and whatnot. It's just that they're not as big because they're not in a central location like just the TV when you turn it on.
Right. It's not just right there. You turn it on.
Right.
Your
So it's going
grandma's
to be
watching
harder. Yeah. So it's going to be harder to know about brand new, really good sitcoms because they're all going to be segmented out. Just the way because everyone and their mom's going to have streaming service now in the next couple of years.
Literally. Yeah.
Peacock, Paramount Plus, all the oldies.
Stay tuned for your first and last streaming service.
I mean,
straight into your ear holes.
we got like a week's worth of content to stream, which is so we could stream it over and over and over again. Just
Is
know
that
if you
all?
turn.
Just 1 week.
I mean, I haven't added up the minutes, but that's a lot, I bet.
Oh,
So
man.
I could see something like that, and maybe that's a reason for the argument of the
for
great
sure.
sitcoms are gone. But like, I mean, who's also arguing that like Big Bang Theory and 2.5 Men are done. Great sitcoms are out the door. I was like, as far as I see, when I looked at those great sitcoms that already left years before that. So
True.
Yeah. And it's again interesting that it just like went out on just like a like that they didn't swing for the fences on this. It was just sort of like, well, we're out. Peace.
yeah, I guess watching this, did you guys pick up on things that were supposed to be like, I don't know, tugging at your heartstrings or do anything like that and get emotional reactions. But for the end of being sad that people are leaving or something that's happening or just really happy for them, it didn't seem like they really went for any form of like solid emotional connection either way in this finale.
Yeah, not really, because they have this recurring joke where they keep saying goodbye, but Cam and Mitchell's like flight keeps getting delayed. So like their first goodbye is like emotional, and then each one after that they're just like, all right, no mushy stuff, we're just saying goodbye. Until like the very last one, they like kind of have a moment where they don't want to let go of their hug, but by that point you've already gone through several goodbyes and you're just sort of worn out. And you're just like, yeah, like it's fine, they're all leaving. I don't know.
Yeah.
To me, it's weird that like I get it, they're all leaving and their lives are going to be different, but it's also just like, but like your kids have been adults for a long time and this is the first time they're all just like leaving. Like, I don't know, man. There's just something about that to me that's just like it'll be fine. Like, you're going to see each other at the holidays. Maybe it's because I've spent a year without seeing my family.
And it was
just
awesome.
Yeah.
Just hits different in a pandemic.
Yeah, maybe it just hits different. That I'm just like, yeah, I mean, you'll keep in touch though.
Oh, you're leaving, but you can travel freely whenever you want to come back and say hi? Oh, sounds
Yeah.
so terrible.
Yeah, I mean, it didn't have the emotional, it didn't have the Frasier emotional turn the way that the pilot did. And there was like a mini thing that they maybe tried to do where they were in the first like emotional goodbye, they were saying that grandpa, I already forgot his name, Jay, it like isn't coming because he doesn't want to be a part of the mushy stuff, and then he comes flying through the door and was like, I wouldn't miss this. But otherwise, yeah, I don't know. I guess I'll have to watch it and find out.
Yeah, Jimmy, you're going to have to be our herald now and tell us where this show is great and then when it, like, around what season it dips off, and that's when people should stop watching it. I believe in you.
It did. I think it I was looking at the wiki and it won some stuff. The first few seasons was getting a lot of acclaim, and then it sort of started to kind of dip. But people are super into this show. So
Cool.
I'm sure it's great.
Well, we've said a lot about a finale that was just kind of whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can go over my predicts. I had that
Nice.
Jay is a great grandfather, which he is because Haley now has twins with Dylan from the first episode. Did not see that coming.
No.
So that's a point. I have that the actor who plays Lily is real bad. She didn't have any speaking lines for like the first episode or the first part, and I was like, I think I'm winning right now. And then she had a couple lines in the second half. Wasn't bad necessarily, but wasn't great. I don't know if that qualifies. What did you guys think?
Which one was she?
She's Cam and Mitchell's Asian daughter.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I mean,
they're doing the karaoke.
Her little scene when she played piano or whatever was like kind of funny. I mean, I didn't necessarily think she was terrible by any means.
Okay.
I didn't have a adverse reaction to her. Like I did, I feel like the other kids.
Yeah. I guess in comparison to the other kids, I don't think I could take the point. I did find out on the fandom page that there were twins who portrayed Lily for seasons 1 and 2, and then a single actress different that portrayed her from seasons 3 on. So
Okay.
they did find a child actor that they liked. A third one is that someone in the family has a dog, and while we didn't see any dogs in the show, in the intro where they're like taking their like family pictures, like Jay's holding a dog. So point, I would say.
I would give it to you just for noticing that, because I clearly was not paying close attention.
Yeah. Caught that one. And then I had that Cam, Mitchell, and Lily are moving to Vietnam, which they're actually moving to Missouri. So it's close, but not close at all.
Probably the furthest.
So not bad, though. 2 points.
Yeah, moving to Missouri to coach football, which did not get any of that from the pilot. Thought that was a profession in the mix. Okay, I did just terribly. So bad. Okay, I had that someone was graduating something. There were no graduations. Everyone was out the door. Luke was about to go start college. Seemed like maybe he was putting that off for a while. Or was he a recent graduate, you think? Can't
I
really
don't
tell
know.
one way or the other.
Yeah.
I thought someone was getting divorced or was divorced. Everyone's still very much in love. Hooray. I thought we were going to get a sports guy chest bump from the pilot, and I didn't
I was like, was that a thing?
It
Yeah.
was a thing.
That was the thing that Cameron basically did to Mitchell and not really with Mitchell, but it was funny. And then I thought Cameron and Mitchell, I said they'd have 3 or more kids by now, and they just had 1 more new baby. Everyone else seemed to have 3 or more new kids.
Yeah, that's right. I forgot that they did have a new baby, Raxford or whatever. Rexford.
Yeah, they kind of brought it full circle because they were on the airplane and it looked like they all had cream puffs.
Cream puffs. Yeah.
Which was a bit from the pilot. Yeah, that's a goose. For Spaghetti
bummer.
Jim.
Well,
It's a big old
and
meatball.
even when I'm not here, eyes are still peeled for a blimp, but I didn't see one. So,
Did not.
but if I would have saw a blimp in this finale, I would have fought for that hard.
No.
Someday.
So
Maybe.
I'm not taking any points.
Fine.
So I mean, I saw 1 episode. I'm not gonna watch this show. Sounds like Jimmy might. A little bit.
I really think the pilot was good enough to carry this for me. My wife and I are blowing through 30 Rock right now because I've never seen the full thing. Just, the first and last and several in between. But maybe after that, I'd have to start it
Joe?
up.
Yeah, I don't think so. I mean, it might be a good thing to keep in the back of my mind for like holiday episodes. I hadn't considered Modern Family, but I bet there's good holiday episodes.
You'd assume for 250 eps they got 1 or 2 holiday episodes probably floating around. Well, I guess I should be interested in. I should actually watch the first episode if you guys think it's so good. But
It's excellent.
we'll see what that does. Maybe more to come, listeners. I'll tell you whether or not it swayed me. I'm still watching the Nazis, so
Oh, wow.
it's good. Every couple nights a week, me and the cat lay down on the couch, cuddle, watch Nazis. Found out my cat likes Nazis.
That just reminded me. I should say, too, and oh, wait, what, Joe?
No, nothing.
Something really funny that I just totally blew. I just realized I'll be remiss if I didn't say that this show was suggested to us by the person who suggested Man in the High Castle to us,
Oh, hey.
and
So-
others. So
All right. Well, I mean, hey, they got me hooked on Man in the High Castle, so
heck yeah.
I owe this listener at least a pilot watch off podcast since I missed it. Is that it? Are we done? Are you guys done talking
Did
about
it.
what you saw?
We're done.
Yeah, I'm done.
Cool. Well, Joe, do the outro.
Yeah, should I do the wrap up here?
Of
You
course.
know, shout at us or don't, whatever. I'm playing hard to get. Is that how you do it?
That's how you get stars.
Yeah. Otherwise, yeah, rating us helps, I think. But if you have suggestions, we take them at fandlpodcast@gmail.com. Also on Twitter. The Facebook page is pretty hopping. I think all of those are F and L podcast. But you know, we already did 2 suggestions from this one dude. So, and I didn't even care enough to learn this guy's name. So, just shows we'll just do any suggestions.
We'll do whatever, give you no credit.
0 credit.
Aw.
You got to get 3 in a row for you to get credit.
Literally,
No,
like next week we'll do the show.
I'll for next week I'll look up that guy's name and like all of his personal info on the internet, and I'll do a little
Have
speech
his
about him.
address.
If you get 3 suggestions in to our podcast, we'll dox you. That's how much.
We will give up all of your personal information.
We're gonna steal your Bitcoin.
Oh man,
That's right.
that's saying something these days.
I know. It's at least a couple dollars worth of stolen bits. Is that it? Joe, are you done with the...
That's it. Okay, bye.
Oh, there we go. I did it. We tricked him into saying goodbye. Bye.
How does it start? It's not "and we're back." It's
Welcome.
hello there. All right, I'm gonna try that. I'm gonna take a full breath and take a sip of water and try that again.